Hey there, Leo. Welcome to your reading for the week of June 21st, I think, or the 22nd. I meant to check after I did the Aries reading, but I didn't check. So it's whatever week it's supposed to be, the 21st or the 22nd. But Leo, let's see what's going on for you this week of whatever it is. So Leo, I feel pretty good about your reading already, and those are definitely good cards, but let's keep it rolling here. Definitely could be love coming in for some of you if you have a desire for love. So I like to see that. And definitely I like this a lot. And, to me, this is like a moving on reading, but in a good way. I'm not talking about, I don't think this is a moving on energy as in you're moving on from love. Of course, some of you could be, but this is more kind of like leaving something that is annoying behind. That's what's popping into my head. So I like it. You start off with the hummingbird spirit. This card says, be here, be now. Really, this is a card of having traveled gone on a very long journey, let's put it that way, in your life, and kind of like finally getting your rewards. So I feel like some of you are being rewarded for staying power is what's popping into my head. Like maybe you have committed to a business or your job. I feel like you could be getting rewarded for that. Maybe just in life in general. I feel like you could be getting some gifts like from the universe because of your staying power, because you've committed to something. In your first row here, you have the Four of Cups, the Eight of Wands, and the Two of Swords. Definitely success coming in for you with that Eight of Wands. You have other cards here that kind of represent success. The Four Cups is kind of like a card of apathy, and it's kind of like manifesting options in your life. I go back and forth on the Four Cups. Again, we're going to clarify this in just a minute, Leo, and we're going to see what comes up. But I feel like for some of you that this could be like maybe you keep trying to create improvements in your life, and maybe you think that the grass is going to be greener on the other side, and maybe things just never work out. That's kind of like the feeling I get in this row, is it's like I feel like you put your heart and soul into things with this first row, like whether it's a relationship, a business, a job. I don't think it matters. I feel like no matter what happens, it's like you're putting everything you've got into everything that you do. And I feel like there could be like a lot of disappointments, or there have been disappointments in the past that could be, that could cause some issues basically, or could be, could be kind of like damaging to your ego. And I don't mean like your ego, like people always say, like your ego. We all have ego. We need to have an ego to survive, number one. But, kind of like just it hurts, right? So I feel like for some of you, it's like you always give everything you got with this first row. And it's like you don't get very many rewards. The good news is I feel like you're finally getting rewards. So I like that. In the middle row here, you have the Healing Chaos card. This is just about, healing chaos, literally. So I feel like it's, a pretty chaotic time. I feel like there will continue to be chaos in the world, unfortunately, until, well, it depends on how you look at it, but, until, probably like the fall time. And then I feel like things will start to heal from there. But I do feel like you could be kind of like trying to heal chaotic situations, or you could be trying to fix things. In this middle row, you have the Fool, the Lovers, and the Nine of Wands. This is a very positive row. I feel like for some of you, you're taking another leap of faith in love with that Fool card and the Lovers here. So it's like maybe you're giving love another chance. Maybe you've been sick and tired of giving everything you got in love, and maybe now you're like, you know what, I'll give it one more chance. It could be an air sign. Gemini definitely stands out to me here. It could be any sign. This is just a general reading, but Gemini definitely stands out for some of you. That Nine of Wands is like saying you're not giving up. So I definitely like to see that. For others, I feel like this is you kind of starting something new with that Fool card. The Fool is like saying you are more than prepared to start something new. The Lovers can be a new path in your life as well. And the Nine of Wands is like kind of like pushing forward, trying again, or, it's a card of perseverance. It says you are going to keep going or keep working towards something. Next, you have the Round and Round card here. Again, I feel like this is something that's been repeating for a very long time. Like I was saying at the beginning of the reading, it's almost like this reading is saying that you give everything you got in all situations in your life. And it's like maybe you don't get, it's like you're not getting anything in return. So I feel like this is finally the change here. You have the Eight of Cups, which is a card of walking away from things, but I feel like you're just understanding, like, I feel like what you're walking away from here, Leo, is expectations, especially with this row here. You have the Four of Cups and the Lovers. Four of Cups is like having certain expectations that things will work out in a certain way, and the Lovers is love, of course, but is also your values. So what the hell does that mean? What that means is it's like maybe you enter into a relationship with certain expectations, like maybe you give a certain amount of love and you expect this certain amount of love back in your life, into your life, but maybe you're realizing that it's the expectations that are kind of damaging with the Eight of Cups. So I feel like you're walking away from like certain expectations in your life. You also have the Six of Swords, so like two cards here of walking away or moving away from things, but definitely moving towards improvements. So I feel like there's a lot of improvements here for you, Leo, and definitely a lot of success. I love it. Between the Four Cups here and the Fool, you have the letter. This is the Seven of Spades in the playing card reading system. That can just represent communication or receiving communication. So I feel like some of you could be receiving communication. It's like the Four of Cups could say maybe you've been waiting for a job. Maybe you've been waiting for a job offer, a love offer. Maybe you finally receive one that causes you to take a leap of faith with that Fool card. So I feel like some of you could finally be taking a leap of faith towards like an offer that you're receiving with that letter card there. Next, between the Eight of Clubs, or the Eight of Wands and the Lovers, you have the Eight of Clubs. This is the Mountain in the Lenormand card reading system. This kind of represents the road less traveled. It can represent confusion as well. It is interesting that you have the Eight of Wands. If in the playing card reading system, I personally don't, but you can read playing cards as tarot, and the Eight of Clubs would be the Eight of Wands. So I do feel like some of you could be getting good news here, especially with this letter card and that Eight of Clubs. So that would be nice. For others, I feel like you're just kind of like picking a new path. The Mountain literally represents like the road less traveled, doing something that you or nobody else has ever done before and finding success because of it. Next, between the Two of Swords here and the Nine of Wands, you have the Tower. The Tower is not like the Tower in the Tarot. The Tower is a card of like authority, and so some of you could be dealing with authorities down here. You could also be just, it could also just be isolation. Even the Nine of Wands is a card of isolation because it's a card of defensive energy. It's a card of like protection energy, protecting yourself, but that could include being isolated. So I feel like for some of you, maybe you need to open up. This Eight of Cups could say you are opening up, actually, and so could the Six of Swords. So I do feel like for some of you, if you've been feeling isolated and like with groups of people or with people in your life or anything like that, I feel like you could be opening up more to people in your life. Next, between the Fool here and the Six of Swords, you have the Child. The Child is a card of curiosity. The Child is a card of like children. You know, children, they do new things all the time. Children don't really necessarily think before they act. They just kind of do, right? And that's how children learn. So the Child can represent needing to embrace more of that childlike energy, needing to embrace more of that, kind of in that curiosity type energy. So I feel like for some of you here, it's like saying to move forward in your life, you need to kind of embrace more of that curiosity type energy. The other thing that I will tell you here, Leo, is the Six of Swords is normally three people in the boat. It's normally the person who's guiding the boat, which literally represents a guide. It's normally the person who's moving on to calmer waters, and normally they have a child in the boat as well. That child kind of represents baggage, things from the past. So I do feel like for some of you, this is saying like leave the past in the past. It's like you're turning over a new leaf here, Leo. I feel like you're leaving this cycle with this round and round card. So it's like I feel like there could be certain fears or worries that you're holding on to from the past. I feel like this right here, which is invisible right now, we're going to make it real in just a second. I feel like it's going to be much more positive than all this. This is not a negative reading at all, but I feel like there's going to be a lot more positivity coming up, but I feel like you have to let go of the fears. With the Lovers here and the Knight of Swords, you have the Tree. The Tree is the Seven of Hearts in the playing card reading system. The Tree represents like a family tree. So it can represent someone charging into your life with this Nine of Swords, someone who wants to be in a relationship with you, someone who wants to be with you in general, someone who wants to date you and all that other stuff. So definitely could be love here with these cards. Next, between the Nine of Wands and the Eight of Cups, you have the Animus card here. The Animus card is the Ace of Hearts in the playing card reading system, and it can represent love. This card is normally called the Gentleman, and it normally represents a man. coming into your life. But again, this is a general reading. I don't attach gender to my cards in a general reading. So it could be any type of, whatever gender you're attracted to, could be coming in for you here with this animus card, and it could be love. For some of you, I feel like you could be walking away from a man-child here, is what I would say, especially with this child card, and especially with this animus card here with the Tower. This kind of looks like maybe potentially walking away from like that man-child type of energy. So let's clarify this more. I'm telling you right now, I knew that this was going to be much more positive, Leo. You have the fish coming up here. The fish is an amazing card, and it's coming up in your top row here. I feel like for some of you, it's like you're moving forward towards true abundance, towards something new and amazing. The fish represents your true soulmate, and so it can represent love, obviously, coming into your life. If you're looking for love, I feel like you could be moving on from a man-child and finding love. And again, no matter what gender you're dating or what gender you're attracted to, it could just be someone who's very immature here, and it's like you're moving on to something that's more like true love. If you're not looking for love, this is a card of a harvest, so I feel like some of you could be experiencing just better finances. In this middle row here, what do you know? You have the coffin. The coffin is the 9 of diamonds in the playing card reading system. The coffin is basically like the death card. It says you are going through a major transformation here. I feel like your life is never going to be the same again here, Leo, with this coffin card, especially. I'm actually going to clarify this at the end as well, this coffin card. I want to see what comes up. But I feel like for a lot of you, you have the moving on card. The coffin card says you are in that coffin right there on the card. It says you need to open the coffin door into a new world. You need to experience some sort of new reality. And so there needs to be a death. And I feel like that's what's going on here. Even like I said on the lovers to me represents picking a new path. Lovers to me represents death. On this lovers card here, he is getting bit on the leg by a snake right here, Leo, and on a traditional lovers, normally it's like a dead tree with a living tree, and it kind of represents just like something from the past dying and moving on to something new. And the 9 of diamonds is my card of newness. In this bottom row here, you have the anchor. The anchor can be like a good card, bad card type situation. The anchor can represent something from the past that's holding you back. The 8 of Cups is your answer here, Leo. So if you're feeling like you're stuck, the 8 of Cups says do not look too deeply into a situation. The 8 of Cups is like a whirlpool of emotions. It is like thinking about the past or whatever, or thinking about why certain things had to happen. And that's where we can get stuck. The anchor can also be a good card because it can say that we are also like pulling up anchor and moving on to something new. It can say we're kind of like going and committing to new things in our lives. So I want to, yeah, I love it. You have the garden here. I want to clarify this 9 of diamonds. It's like you're stepping into the garden. This is the 8 of spades in the playing card reading system. It represents a harvest, abundance, being able to rest, relax, finally, being able to, take time for yourself, whatever you want to call it. So this is, your life will never be the same again, Leo, is what this boils down to. This is an amazing reading. I love it. I feel like there's a lot of good things here. So thank you for watching, Leo, and definitely enjoy your week.